Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ryan Weber here at Fittynomics.com. Today's interview with Healthy Grooves, I have JJ with me. JJ is the fitness manager for Equinox. JJ, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and talk a little about how you got started.
I have been in health and fitness for almost 20 years, I'm embarrassed to say. I started by putting myself through college by personal training clients on the side, and then I got a master's in education and decided I wanted to be a school teacher, so I taught 3rd and 7th grade, and I did that for many years and always taught classes and had clients on the side while I did that to make money, because teachers in California don't make money. And then I got pregnant and I had a son, and that kind of changed my life because my son has some medical problems, and being in a 9 to 3 job where I was unavailable was no longer an option for us. And so I had to revamp my whole life and kind of figure out how to be a mom to a chronically ill child and still make time for myself. And luckily I had the background that I had in fitness, and fitness makes me happy and it makes my brain a little less crazy, and it helps me through my day when I'm stressed. And so that's kind of how I ended up here. So I taught a little bit, and as my son got older I had a little more time, and I just make sure I'm 2 to 3 minutes away from him at all times, so if he has an issue I can leave, and I'm supported by a great group of people who can help me pick up the slack. So that's why and how I'm here.
If you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about the medical issues and just kind of how that's played a part in your life and affected you.
I am fortunate enough to have probably the most stubborn child on the planet, and I was told repeatedly that things didn't look good for him, and he is stubborn and was able to pull through in situations where we were told he wouldn't be able to. The thing is that he's in and out of the hospital all the time, and he has medical things that keep him from having the energy to live a life that he wants to. So he's unable sometimes to do the physical activities that keep him up with his friends and his peers. And he gets blood infusions every 3 to 4 weeks. So that's a constant schedule. It takes us 5 to 6 hours. It's at Children's LA. It's back and forth.
Right.
And there's hourly and daily obligations on my part as his parent to make sure that he is safe. So fortunately for me, and maybe it's the way I'm wired, but what that did for me was realize that I did nothing wrong when I was pregnant.
Sure.
We knew nothing about the problems that he has, but it opened up a different world in my brain that made me realize that your body is not something to be taken advantage of, and every second that I can use my body is a second I'm kind of using it for people who can't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because my son, for instance, would love to do a 3-hour camp and play soccer and play basketball and be normal and run around with his peers.
Sure.
But it's not possible, and he's sad he can't. So the fact that I can, I'm giving credence to those who can't by pushing my body and not making excuses. So some little something hurts, it's not an excuse, because it's not fair. There are other people in the world who would do anything to have 2 legs, 2 arms, a heart that works, an immune system that works. Make the time and give credit to what you were blessed with, because not everybody was.
And that's a great point. I mean, you're obviously a very positive, well-spoken person. You have a deep inner strength, and it comes from just life's experiences. You know, we don't always know what's going to happen, but given the situation we're put into, you've obviously looked for the positive side, and not just for yourself, but for anybody you come into contact with. So that ability to be strong for your family, but then also lead by example and be strong for others, I think that's tremendous, and I really commend you on that. So obviously you're very busy with the family issues. Let's talk a little bit about the work schedule. And you're a group fitness manager at a pretty busy club. I've worked out here for a couple of days. It's a great club. Why don't we talk a little bit about your schedule here and what you do here at the club?
I work about 50 hours a week. And I mean, my husband and my family makes fun that I get paid to work out. And that's true, but I get paid to work other people out. I teach 4 spin classes a week, and I teach 3 Pilates classes a week. That's all I'm on the schedule right now. But that's all for other people. So, you know, there are days that I would rather not be on on a bike. I'd rather be going for a run outside, or, but you know, I'm there for the people. I'm coaching other people, which means I'm not always working myself the way that my body needs to be worked. So on top of my 7 hours of classes every week, I always have to try to find time to put my own workouts in.
Sure.
And the way that I do that is I schedule it. It's on my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have to, and it's funny, but this is what I personally do. Because of my son's situation, there are times where everything gets thrown up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I have a schedule and it gets thrown, and I have to find a last minute sub for my class, and I'm running out of here dealing with him. So I have workout bank accounts. And what that means, is that when a day allows, I do extra. Because then on days where I can, I don't feel bad about not being able to. And when I say workout bank account, it's not like I'm counting how many hours a week am I working out.
Sure.
But I definitely, if I have a day where he's feeling good and I'm feeling good, I do an extra. And even if it's a half hour extra, maybe I do a half hour real quick heavy lift, or I take the dog for an extra little 2 or 3 mile run, or and it's just some little thing. But I, in my head, then give myself a pass on the days where it can't happen because I filled my bank account.
Okay. I like that. Workout bank account. At this point, I'm not a father. I have a little niece, and she's definitely precious. That workout bank account, I like that idea a lot. It seems kind of like a very motherly thing, kind of like a good way to organize yourself. If you're busy, you take advantage of the extra time that you're given. You are fortunate that you're able to keep in shape at work. But like you said, even though you're training other people, it is hard sometimes to find a way you want to train yourself appropriately. Because what you do for other people may not necessarily what you want to do for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I have also heard you do a little bit of fitness modeling.
I was approached 2 years ago to do that, and I said yes, and so I have done a little of that.
All right.
I don't say no to anything. I'll try anything. And for me, that was more just that, I'm in my late 30s, and being approached to try to do something fitness modeling was kind of like, well, could I do it? And
sure.
Let's see. And I did, and I showed up with a few mid-20 girls, and I felt strong with them. So it was good, and I was proud to be there. That's a tough industry, I have to say. There is nothing worse than having somebody pick you apart for your body and tell you which side looks good, and especially when you work really hard. I don't know that that's something that I could, for me, my body is how it functions and how it performs, and not necessarily what it looks like in the mirror. So that was, for me, that was a big step into a very uncomfortable place. But I did, and I feel good about doing it, and I checked that box, and I don't know that I'll ever do it again, but it was a good experience.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, really, when you get put on the spot for something where you're uncomfortable and unfamiliar, it's definitely a chance to maybe kind of see what you're made of on the inside. You obviously knew you were a strong person. You did get approached. You were compared against some people who you thought were in good shape, but, I mean, they chose you, you did it, and again, that's awesome. There's a lot of people who wish they could have that opportunity. So for anybody watching right now, I think that's very inspiring. It really doesn't matter, how much you have going on in your life, where you're at in your life. If you keep a positive mindset, no matter what, and you just focus forward on that, you don't pretty much do anything. So you're a busy club manager. You like to train and work out yourself. You take care of your family issues at home. You've done some modeling.
Yes.
I really don't know too many women who are busier than you. That's pretty impressive.
I have been known to do the 4:30 a.m. run.